What up, bitches? It's the Misanthropic One, aka He Who Hungers, and I'm back up in this bitch for another rant. This here is the two-part video that I told you that was coming down the pipeline. I'm gonna do part one, and my brother from another mother, Truth Teller 410, is gonna swoop in with a knockout punch for part two. So if you're not subscribed to my man Truth Teller 410, do it now and then come back and watch part one and then eventually watch part two. All right. And I told you this video was going to be concerning Terry Crews, who you're looking at right now. This image that you see, Jesus, he is sitting next to a female known as Lily Singh, better known as Superwoman right here on YouTube. She is a high-end YouTube name, and her handle is Superwoman. And these two did a video together. Well, let me talk about Lily Singh real quick. Lily Singh, her content, basically, to put it in a nutshell, it's just a more social justice warrior shit. She tries to hide it under the guise of comedy, but it's a bunch of shit about how it's against men and the patriarchy and all that nonsense. You get that overwhelming theme for the most part when it comes to her videos. It's just very cringeworthy. And here comes Terry Crews, once again dressed up in a fucking female attire, jumping in this video, feeling very comfortable doing it. And it just, it's just so ridiculous because this guy always finds himself doing this sort of shit. All right. And this video is called How to Get Out of a Bad Date. I don't know what to tell you. It's just 5 minutes of my life that I wish I could get back watching this shit. Go watch it yourselves. It's just a cringe fest. All right. But the reason I got to go in on this guy, not only at Truth Teller's request, but I've talked about Terry Crews before, and this guy is propping himself up as the guy that's going to help take down toxic masculinity. And I've mentioned this before when I talked about his whole sexual harassment claim, like how he claims he was sexually harassed by some Hollywood powerful Hollywood agent. Put it in a nutshell, I think that's bullshit. But let me ask this guy something. Is this how you're gonna fight toxic masculinity? Jumping into this type of role once again? I mean, this guy is so fucking comfortable doing this shit, and it's no surprise coming from a dude who said he let his wife train him. When it came down to that whole nonsense he's involved in. No, dude. Honestly, I mean, if you watch this video and see how comfortable he is taking this role, look, I honestly believe that this dude, it's just my belief. I'm not trying to slander the dude or anything, but I just from analyzing him and him being in the public square, I think this dude is on the down low, man. And listen, there's nothing wrong with, being gay, look. So don't leave me no comments saying, oh, you're a homophobe or any of that shit. No. I respect gay people. I treat them as human beings as long as they good people. I don't care. But, this whole shit, like I don't like when niggas on the down low because you're running around lying to people, doing this and that. And you're breaking up homes and sleeping with one person and jumping, it's because of that reason, I don't like. But if you openly gay, you gay, I don't give a shit, just be gay and be proud, I guess, you know what I mean? But why it's just he's just a hypocrite because he's sitting here talking about taking down toxic masculinity, which I believe is bullshit, by the way. It's just another buzzword or buzz term that SJWs throw around like cultural appropriation and mansplaining and all that shit. But didn't Terry Crews get into the industry because of his masculinity? I just find that so fucking hypocritical. That's why I tell you, especially like with some of these rapper, quote unquote conscious rappers, they'll tell you about, oh, I mean, let me say these rich rappers, not so much conscious rappers. They'll say, oh, everything's fucked up, but then you turn around and think about it, they're capitalizing. And you know their name. So it's like they kind of don't want you to follow in their footsteps. And it's the same thing with this dude. Like, I just find that very odd, it kills me how easily this guy jumps into those roles. And it just goes to show you that, this whole war on black men, particularly, well, there's a war on men, period, but black men, I've told y'all that they're looking to emasculate us, especially in Hollywood. That's how they assert their dominance over you. And I've said this, shout out to my man, O'Shea Duke Jackson. I went on his, one of his podcast, his live streams, and what did I say to y'all? I said that black people need to take control of their culture. All right? Because all this shit where you're jumping in and easily doing this shit is how liberal Hollywood asserts their dominance over you. They're saying, listen, you're doing this shit. A case in point, not only besides fucking Terry Crews, but you look at Kevin Hart. This Negro was talking about, nah, you got to have boundaries. When you're an actor, you got to put your foot down. Next thing you know, you turn around, this Negro's in a dress on fucking SNL. And then the dude turns around and says, well, no, I'm my own boss. I just thought the sketch was funny. No, nigga, you knew exactly what they wanted. No, what happened to boundaries? You know what I mean? And, and I know that there have been like revolutionaries like Flip Wilson that have done this sort of quote unquote comedy. You know what I mean? And shout out to him. He's like an OG, but that was a different time then. You know what I mean? Now is the time where we got to mobilize and say, listen, there's certain things that, we got to do as men and, this shit right here is further pushing you down that rabbit hole, I guess, or that abyss, of emasculation. So I urge you, just watch that fucking video. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm just done with Terry Crews, man. This guy was so promising to me, but then when that whole accusation shit came out, I was like, oh God, not you too, because he's riding this whole Me Too shit. And that's another thing. Let me close with this. If you notice with a lot of social justice warriors, they come from some type of occupation, particularly like the celebrities and athletes. If you notice, they're not really concentrating on what they're good at. Like in Terry Crews' case, he's an actor. If you look on his Wikipedia or like IMDb, he has nothing really slated for like 2019. Because if you look at actors' Wikipedia or particularly actors, like they got a lot of stuff in pre-production, like if you can see into the future, oh, this is what so-and-so is working on. This dude only has America's Got Talent as his 2019 project or prospect, whatever you want to say. So, this just goes to show you that a lot of this shit that particularly celebrities do as far as social justice, I keep telling y'all, is virtue signaling, because these guys are getting paid through digital backpacks and social currency. That's it. And this dude is being laid out as a fucking martyr, much like Colin Kaepernick. Like he's being laid out as a America's bravest man for 2017, I believe. So listen, don't believe the hype. Look, just go watch that video. Then stay tuned for my man True Teller 410's Knockout Punch Part 2. And that's it. Wow, just went over 10 minutes. All right. Y'all know the deal. Leave your love, leave your hate. Most of all, subscribe, share, and like my shit. And that's it. Peace, bitches.